last night. Wild and wacky can't begin to describe the type of happenings at Citizens Bank Park in the series opener with the Reds. Errors, squeeze attempts, pickoffs, and wild pitches were just part of the story in the first 9 innings. Oh, did we mention it was the first night back in the lineup for the injured Phillies catcher since July 1st. That one's in the air, deep down the right field line. It's a bullet, and it's gone. And the Phillies have won it here in the 12th. How many times when Brian Schneider was growing up in Northeast Pennsylvania did he dream about doing that? Winning a ball game for the Fightin' Phils. So many emotions last night in an extra inning victory for the Phillies. They hope they can carry that momentum into Game 2 tonight against the Cincinnati Reds in front of a sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Chris Wheeler will be here in just a little bit. What a bizarre game last night, and as it turns out, it was a good game for the Phillies because they came away with a victory over the leaders of the National League Central. But, Sarge, last night there were things that I don't think you can ever think you're going to see during the course of a season.
Well, you're absolutely right. Brian Schneider coming up with that game-winning home run. That's what he needed to do after actually missing the ball, coming in and having a run score. Now, take a look at last night there in the 3rd inning. Victorino hitting the ball there. Vato trying to pick that up. Victorino taking the glove off of Cueto. Cueto says, look, go home. He throws the ball, and the ball gets away there. Here comes J-Rowe sliding belly first as he scores a run, giving a high five to Ibanez. Now, here's a squeeze there. Wasn't done properly. It was popped up there, Tom. Easy double play there for Kyle Kendrick. Well, there were other crazy things going on in the 8th inning. This is a wild pitch there. Well, he's going to take his hat off. Brandon Phillips, the second baseman. Well, nobody's covering home plate. Runner scores all the way from second base there. In the 9th inning, Cairo, there's a clutch base hit, tying the game there off of Brad Lidge with 2 outs. Always a clutch hit with 2 outs there. In the 12th inning, Snyder atoning for his mistake. Game-winning home run. That's what it's all about, those walk-offs. He feels good about himself, Tom, as he had that home run.
Well, here's the summary from last night's ballgame. Only 4 players had more than 1 hit. Look at Jimmy Rollins, 0 for 3 last night. He saw a game-high 29 pitches. And how about Jimmy Rollins and Brandon Phillips, the 2 leadoff hitters in last night's ballgame, Sarge? They were a combined 0 for 8. It's amazing to think that the Phillies were able to win that ball game by 1, and the Reds were actually in the game with their leadoff batter not getting on base. So tonight it'll be Joe Blanton on the hill for the Phils. He'll be opposed by right-hander Mike Leake, who we'll see for the 2nd time this year. Well, when Jimmy Rollins returned from the disabled list, he brought with him his charisma and his smile. Smiles around the dugout. They hope it carries over tonight with the starting lineups. Now, the Phillies had some opportunities against the Reds. Reds had some opportunities against the Phillies, too, before the game went into extra frames. And then, of course, Brian Schneider. This is such a game of redemption in so many ways. Brian Schneider put a ball right over that fence in right field to give the Phils the victory. Let's take a look at the Reds starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at second base, Brandon Phillips. Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop, bats second. Joey Votto hits third, followed by Johnny Gomes, who's in left field batting cleanup. Jay Bruce is in right field batting fifth. Miguel Cairo, who had a big hit last night to send this game into extra innings, he'll bat sixth. Chris Heisey's in center, hitting seventh. Corky Miller bats eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Mike Leake. And they will face right-hander Joe Blanton, making his 13th start of the year, 3-5 with a 6.27 ERA.
Yeah, Joe Blanton up and down. You know, of course, he started the year on the disabled list. Seems like he's really strong in games to a point, and then they, you know, he either give up runs or they have to go out and get him. And, you know, sometimes that's a little bit hard for him to figure out when to do that. Normally, Joe gets off to good starts in ball games. He's been getting his pitches down in the zone a lot better. Pitched pretty well against the Cincinnati Reds. He pitched a really good game against them out there. Of course, that game in Pittsburgh on Sunday, he was just breezing along, and then it kind of got away.
Well, we'll get a chance to face the Reds, who he has a 2-0 record against, an earned run average of 3.92. Last time against Cincinnati on the 29th of June, he went 7 2/3, allowed 8 hits. He was in line for a victory. The Reds, though, got a 3-run home run by Joey Votto in the ninth to send it into extra innings, and the Phillies wound up winning that ball game. Well, it's been raining for most of the late afternoon here in Philadelphia. In fact, neither team took batting practice, so there are thunderstorms in the area. But the hope is that we can get this one started and completed without any interruptions.
Yeah, we had one come through. It lasted about 20 minutes, and it really soaked everything, and then it was gone. And, you know, according to the weather forecast, there are pop-up showers around the area, and none are expected to pop up here anymore.
That's the good news.
Yeah.
Brandon Phillips leads things off for the Reds. How about Phillips last night? Was hitless, although he struck out and reached first safely on a strikeout. And that scored at one point, the tying run for the Reds. That tied the game up at 2. And that was a strange play.
Well, there are a lot of those. That was a strange game.
In the air down the right field line. That'll slice foul and out of play. And it's 0-2.
And it's tough to tell what the ball's going to do here tonight. As Tom said, there was no batting practice. They just decided that it would be better to keep the tarp on the whole time as opposed to starting and stopping during BP. And it was a great decision because it did rain really hard at one point for, like I said, about 20 minutes.
See the breeze from left to right. There hasn't been much of a breeze here in South Philadelphia or anywhere in the Delaware Valley the last few days because of the heat. That one was eating up Jimmy from the get-go. And Brandon Phillips is safe at first. That's going to be Jimmy's second error of the year. Just seemed odd the way that ball was traveling and spinning out towards short. And it was taking such a weird path, and it took a weird path up and off the glove of Rollins.
Yeah, you could tell he was not real confident on the way this thing was coming out, or whether, well, the hop, you know, infielders play hops a lot of times. That ball took kind of a funny hop and ate him up, and of course it has to be an error because Jimmy will have those balls do that a lot of times, and you don't even notice it took that kind of hop because his hands are so quick.
Here's Orlando Cabrera. Takes a pitch a little low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Cabrera was 0 for 5 last night. In fact, the Phillies did a great job keeping the top of the order off base last night. Phillips and Cabrera combined 0 for 10.
They had to do some work on the infield before the game because of the moisture, and Rollins is out there trying to smooth some spots out right now.
There's a pop-up, shallow right, and Jason Worth gallops under it, and he puts it away for the first out. Back to first goes Brandon Phillips. Joe Blanton has not lost over his last 4 starts. During that time, he's 2-0 with 2 no decisions and an ERA of 4.55. He began the year with a 1-5 record. Like the first few starts he made, it was almost as if he was still working on a spring training schedule. He just wasn't as sharp as he would have liked.
Well, he was up, too. Pitches were up in the strike zone. He's been better with that lately.
There's Joey Votto who takes a pitch outside, and it's 1-0.
That game in Pittsburgh on Sunday, he had a really good curveball in that game. His changeup was working well. Threw some sliders, spotted his fastball, and had some really quick innings.
Yeah, he had a 4-2 lead into the 7th, but then the Pirates scored 6 runs in that 7th. And a good change up. 1 ball and 1 strike to Votto.
That's a pitch that's so effective for him when he has it working with left-handed hitters. And this team can throw a couple of really good left-handed hitters at you and Votto and Bruce.
See Votto's numbers with runners on. It's part of the reason why he has 60 RBIs this year, and he's got Phillips over at first with 1 out here in the top of the 1st. It's a foul, and it's 1-2. Well, he got things rolling in the 1st inning last night.
And he is such a hot hitter right now, and he got that pitch kind of middle in and down where left-handed hitters like it, and no doubt about it, long home run to right center field. That's all that Kyle Kendrick gave up, though.
Yeah, Kyle was really strong last night against the Reds. Runner goes, and the pitch is hit the opposite way toward the vacant hole. It's short, and Phillips is going to go to 3rd. Ibanez thought about trying for a play at 3rd, but that would have enabled Votto to go to 2nd. And the Reds have runners on 1st and 3rd with 1 out here in the top of the 1st.
The way he approached that looked like hit and run. Let's see. Phillips, there he goes. He does look in. And Jimmy, of course, Jimmy's going to cover right there because Votto's a pull hitter. You know, shortstop's going to cover. Second baseman's going to stay at home. Great job by Votto to hit it in the vacant spot where the shortstop had left the position. And Phillips running really well, gets all the way to 3rd on a base hit the left field.
Well, now Johnny Gomes, who's the cleanup hitter with runners on 1st and 3rd, stands in. When Johnny Gomes arrived at the ballpark today, he wasn't the cleanup hitter. He was the 5 hitter. Scott Rowland was in the lineup batting cleanup, but about an hour or so ago, the Reds called up, changed their lineup. Scott's having a little stiffness in his back, so that's why he's out of the lineup. And that one's in the air to left field. Pretty deep. Towering shot. Ibanez on the run, and how about that? The Reds with a 3-run home run from a guy who was 3 for his last 19. And they jump out to a 3-0 lead. There's Scott Rowland. That's his spot where Johnny Gomes was hitting.
That's why they're so dangerous. I mean, you make a mistake, and then you go hit, and they go hit and run, and then somebody pops one. How many times has this happened where, oh boy, fastball right down the middle, where, you know, a guy's not in the starting lineup, he comes out and plays and does some damage, and this is real early.
Well, that'll bring Jay Bruce to the plate.
That's one of those ouch right out of the chute in the 1st inning and down 3-0.
Well, in every game on this homestand, now 5 games, the Phillies have trailed going into the bottom of the 1st.
And there have been some home runs involved in that, too.
Gomes talking things over with Bronson Arroyo after his 11th home run. And the 3 ribbies give him 59 on the year.
Well, he crushed that thing, too. That was out off the bat, deep to left center field.
2-1 the count to Jay Bruce. And he rolls over on that one to the right side. Joe is over to the cover, and the ball is off his glove. Ryan Howard just flipped it with his backhand, and Blanton's throw hits the runner, sliding into 2nd. Is this a carryover from last night?
No, the Phillies are really sloppy. I mean, that's just careless when you do something like that. You've seen him do that before, and it works, but you know, when it doesn't look too good. Error all the way.
I'm going to give the error to Joe Blanton.
Yeah, he doesn't catch it. There's no doubt about it. But you know, you do these kind of things, and you know, some weird stuff can happen. That was a tough play for the pitcher because of, you know, he's trying to find the bag and he's looking up in the air for the ball at the same time. Then he nails Bruce with a throw. See how he has to look up in the air way high, and that should be on the first baseman, I think.
They've just changed it to an error to Ryan Howard.
Yeah, because when the throw's high like that, it's really hard for the guy to find the bag at the same time.
Miguel Cairo, who had a base hit in the 9th inning last night that tied the game up at 3.
The idea about that play is to get it to him as fast as possible, and that's what Ryan Howard's trying to do there, but there's a lot easier way to lead him.
See Miguel's numbers this year: 283 with a couple home runs, 11 RBIs. Part of last year's National League Championship season for the Phillies. He received a ring when the team was out in Cincinnati.
Yeah, huge hit last night. Miguel's a great guy to have on a ball club. So he can play different positions, pinch hit, good guy in the clubhouse.
And he swings and lines one to center field. It's going to hang up there for Victorino. He makes the catch. And Bruce will tag and go to third. So 2 away. And they'll bring Chris Heisey to the plate. Heisey's one of a handful of youngsters that the Reds have. Jay Bruce is one of the others over at third. Joey Votto. And then a whole host of guys on their pitching staff, including the starter tonight, Mike Leake. And all these guys are putting together pretty good years at the same time. Heisey hitting .277 with 5 homers and 7 RBIs, and he foul tips the first pitch into the glove of Schneider. First inning runs, including 3 tonight. And a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. That's a pretty good curve by Joe. Well, his last start against the Pirates, he allowed 2 runs in the first inning, and then really settled in after that. Swing and a miss, he got him. Down on strikes, and the side is retired, but the Reds scored 3 runs on a 3-run home run by Johnny Gomes. 2 of those runs are earned. The Phillies committed 2 first-inning errors. We go to the bottom of the first. Victorino, the center fielder, bats second. Raul Ibanez hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Jason Worth is in right field batting fifth. Greg Dobbs hits sixth. Brian Schneider, last night's hero, is behind the plate. He'll bat seventh. Juan Castro starts at second base, hitting eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Joe Blatt, and they will face rookie right-hander Mike Leake, making his 17th start and second start against the Phils.
Well, this guy's really done a very good job for them. A rookie, former college pitcher. And his numbers are good, and he's really kept them in a lot of games. Now, the Phillies saw him last time out. Southwest Airlines scouting report on him out of Arizona State. He has a lot of different pitches, and he tries to miss the middle of the plate because he doesn't throw real hard. But he's smart, and they had a couple 3-run home runs off him last time.
Jimmy leads it off, and he lines one into right field, a base hit. That's a good start for the Phils. Jimmy was hitless last night, and he begins the bottom of the first with a leadoff single. See if the Phillies can get a run or two back here in the first, just to stem the tide a little bit.
Well, he made an error. He doesn't make many errors. One thing about Jimmy Rollins, no matter what he hits, saves so many runs with his defense. As you described it, as that ball was headed out to him, he just didn't look comfortable. Took a kind of crazy hop on him. He just missed it.
Well, here's Shane Victorino, who had 3 hits in last night's ball game, including a home run. And his average has picked up over the last 10 games or so. And he pops it up toward left field. Johnny Gomes hopping around out there. And there's one away. Mike Leake pitched at Arizona State. In fact, last year before the Reds drafted him, he was 16-1 with an ERA of 1.71. Now, there's a big difference, obviously, between the college game and the major league game. But 16 wins. I mean, Dusty Baker had to know that this kid was going to be a pretty good pitcher. He just probably didn't think it would be this fast. Ibanez delivers one low. It's 1-0.
We watched him last time. He's got a few arm angles. He definitely tries to move the ball around, change speeds. He pitches like a veteran, and he almost has to, because he's not an overpowering guy.
The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Nancy Laskowski of Claymont, Delaware. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Nancy's going to walk away with $100. Quick throw over, and he's out at first base. Jimmy was leaning, and there are 2 outs. Second night in a row, the Phillies have had a base runner picked off, and this has not been a crisp first inning for the ball club.
No, you're down by 3 runs. You get picked off. They just lean a little bit. Boy, that was a good move by Leake.
And now Raul fouls that one off, and he's down 1-2. Jimmy and Shane, the first 2 outs here in the inning, and Ibanez scorches one to right field. Backing up is Jay Bruce, and it's off the wall. Raul is going to get at least a second on that one as the ball died as it hit the warning track. That pickoff is even more important for the Reds here in the first.
Yeah, the odds are Jimmy wouldn't have been able to score on that, but they at least have second and third now and be in business for Ryan Howard. This ball gets to the wall in a hurry. It's supposed to be a high fastball. He really missed his spot right down the middle. Hit about 3/4 of the way up on that scoreboard, and then Bruce gets it back in quickly. So down by 3 runs, the odds are Sam Perlaza would not have waived Jimmy Rollins at that point.
So runner in scoring position, 2 down. Here's Ryan Howard. Ryan with 16 homers and 62 runs batted in. Ooh, that ball hit him. Just kept on riding in, and it's the second batter that Leake has hit. As Diaz was right on that one.
Here it comes.
I couldn't tell that it hit him there.
You know, if it did, it just brushed his uniform, right? I don't know. Another look.
Bounced right off his leg.
Yeah.
That was fast.
Caught his thigh a little bit. Yeah.
So runners on first and second. And here's Jason Worth. Jason was 1 for 4 last night. See Jason's last dozen games hitting 174. And he lays off, and it's 2-0.
They got this guy for 2 3-run home runs last time. Brian Schneider hit 1 and Wilson Valdez hit 1, and they have 2 men on now.
And they trail at 3-0 because the Reds hit a 3-run home run in their half of the first. In the air down the left field line, that's going to go foul. Man, was he on top of that one.
Yeah, he's just out front. Something off speed. And he got way out in front and hit a new odd ball.
Nice play by that guy up there.
See what he throws him here. Changeup. And it came darting inside a little bit.
Broke his bat. A liner towards shortstop. Picked up on one hop by Cabrera. The head of the bat went all the way out towards shortstop. And Raul Ibanez is limping off third. The side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We go to the second. It's 3-0 Cincinnati. Bat 2010. Visit Phillies.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details. We begin the second. It's 3-0 Reds, and Corky Miller getting a chance to start again. They finally put Ramon Hernandez on the disabled list today. They activated Ryan Hannigan. Miller had been starting the last few days for Ramon Hernandez. Raul Ibanez, the top of Jason Worth's bat hit his foot as he was running to third, and he came off the third base bag limping, but he looks like he's okay now. He was looking at the ball and didn't realize the bat was scooting over toward his feet. And he limped away from third just a little bit, and it seemed to be fine. And now it's 3-1 to Corky Miller. Miller was 2 for 4 in last night's ball game. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Here's the barrel. Goes heading out towards shortstop. Ibanez, he looks towards the outfield, and there it does, and gets him on that right foot.
Line drive right to Ibanez, and that's going to drop in front of him for a hit. So Corky Miller has his 3rd hit in this series.
This guy coming up now, Mike Leake, can handle the bat. He has 5 sacrifices and 11 hits. He's had 3 multi-hit games, a 4-game hitting streak. So we'll see if they take the bat out of his hands or whether he bunt, or if they take the bat out of his hands by bunting or let him swing away.
Got a slow runner at first. He is going to square, and the pitch is inside. 1-0.
Great time to take it off now for a guy who can handle the bat. As Tom said, a slow runner at first will be hard to bunt over.
He bunts it toward first, and that'll roll foul. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Charlie Manuel was talking about Mike Leake his last time against the Phillies, and he was talking about his hitting. He said, yeah, but everything's going toward right field. If you play him perfectly, you should be able to cut him off.
When he's a pitcher, it's supposed to go to right field. A right-handed hitting pitcher.
But still 11 hits, and as Will said, 5 sacrifice bunts. And they take it off, and how about that? He chops it to the left side for a base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Reds, including 1 by the pitcher. And they got 2 aboard here in the second. 24/7 Phillies fans get more with Phillies insider Jim Salisbury. For over 20 years, he's been breaking team news, and it's the only place to get his inside access at CSNPhilly.com. Experience counts. Phillies insider Jim Salisbury, only at CSNPhilly.com.
See the way the defense was set up. They're playing him well up the middle with the shortstop because he's not supposed to pull the ball, especially a fastball, and he did.
So Brandon Phillips, who reached on an error by Jimmy Rollins his first time up, is up for the second time in tonight's game. And that pitch is high, 1-0.
This is normally a very dangerous part of a baseball game. You're down 3-0. You had a bad first inning yourself. And now you have the 8 and 9 hole hitters get on with the top of the order coming up with nobody out. This is where you really have to stop the damage right now or limit it.
Phillips tried to hold. He went around.
You see a game get away real fast right now.
Line drive foul out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Reds as a team lead the National League in runs scored with 430. They also lead in home runs. That's the category that the Phillies led last year and even the year before that. But the other thing they're doing is they're just getting on base overall. In fact, they have the best on base percentage in the league. And it's staggering. It's well over 400. A couple of guys you just saw, most notably Joey Votto in the dugout, is one of the big reasons why. There's Joey Votto, who's in the hole. One ball, 2 strikes the count to Brandon Phillips here at the top of the second. Phillies trail at 3-0. A little topper foul, and it remains 1-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Braves are taking a 1-0 lead over the Mets. Melky Cabrera must be batting at the top of the order for Atlanta. The game's gone to the bottom of the first. R.A. Dickey is starting for the Mets, and Tommy Hanson starts for the Braves in that ball game. Atlanta's won 14 of their last 18 series. And there's a pretty big strikeout right there for Joe Blanton. 1 away here in the second.
Yeah, that's a good battle there. Phillips kept fouling pitches off, and Joe Blanton elevated a fastball there. That was like a letter high one, and probably not a strike. And he chased it a little bit above the belt. You know, maybe it would be called a strike. It normally isn't.
So a 7-pitch at bat results in a strikeout. And here's Orlando Cabrera. He flied to Jason Worth his first time up. And a fastball taken for strike 1. It's 0-1. Another pop up to right field. It's shallow. Here comes Jason Worth. He's there, makes the catch. 2 outs. Corky Miller's not going to venture off the second base bag. So Joe's made a couple good pitches in a row, and now with 2 away, he can see his way through this, but he's got a tough hitter in Joey Votto due up.
Right. And you know, probably the best hitter in their lineup, both him and Bruce. And this is the point we're talking about. When the 8 and 9 hole hitters get on, the top of the order comes up, you really have to get after it and bear down, because that's when you normally get hurt. And he's 1 out away from getting out of this jam, as Tom said.
Votto single to left his first time up. The Reds are pulling a hit and run. He's the leader in home runs with 22. He has 60 runs batted in. And now time is called. And that misses outside. It's 1-0. Joe Blanton last time out against the Pirates, we said he allowed those 2 runs in the first, and then he retired the side in order 4 different times before the Pirates had a big inning.
That average after on a 2-0 count.
And now it's 3-0.
After a 2-0 count. 520.
Think he's looking fastball at all?
I think he's looking, yeah. Well, he's doing the right thing. He's doing what you should do ahead in the count and more.
Take it all the way, and there's ball 4. So the bases are now loaded. That's only the 3rd walk by Blanton in his last 23 2/3 innings. Corky Miller's on 3rd.
Even though Gomes hurt him in the first inning, he technically had a base open there with 2 outs. And if he didn't want to deal with Votto, which it appeared he didn't after the 2-0, you go after the right-handed hitter and try and get him out and hope you can get out of the inning. Now, last time out, he didn't make a pitch to him. He threw a fastball in the middle of the plate, and Gomes hurt him.
So Gomes off the 3-run home run, just the 2nd home run in his last 25 games. He'll stand in with the bases loaded, and he lines one, caught. Oh, it's off the glove of Dobbs. Picked up by Rollins, no play, and Corky Miller's going to score. Gosh, I thought Greg Dobbs had that ball. It went in and out of his glove and rolled right towards shortstop. And it's 4-0 Reds.
Well, this baby is absolutely scalded by Johnny Gomes. And it was in his glove, and he didn't catch it. See right there, it's hit hard, but very catchable, and ruled a base hit. Has to be, I guess, because it's hit so hard, but Dobbs would tell you probably should have caught that.
Well, 4 RBIs now for Johnny Gomes in the game. And the bases remain loaded, and Jay Bruce is the hitter. And a breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 0-1. So the Reds lead at 4-0, and Johnny Gomes has all 4 RBIs. And quickly it's 0-2 to Jay Bruce. Mike Leake is on third. Votto's at second, and Gomes over at first. The infield back all the way around. Swing and a miss. He got him. He'll tap home plate to finish off the strikeout, and the side is retired. A run on 3 hits. Reds strand the bases loaded, but they'll take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the second. It's all part of a 3-game series that winds down on Thursday the 12th. The Jewish Heritage Celebration will take place before and during the ball game. Get your tickets by logging on to Phillies.com. Well, the Phillies are in a pretty big hole right now as we go to the bottom of the second. They trail at 4-0 as the Reds have picked up 5 hits. They've already stranded 4. Now Mike Leake will face Greg Dobbs, Brian Schneider, and Juan Castro. 6, 7, and 8 for the Phillies. Dobbs was 0 for 3 in last night's ball game before being lifted for Juan Castro. His average at 189, but a much better July than the other 3 months. And he loops that one to shallow left. Gomes got a good jump, and he puts it away for out number 1. So 1 away, and here comes Brian Schneider. Well, as everybody around Major League Baseball was getting ready for their games tonight, the Seattle Mariners and Texas Rangers made some major news as Cliff Lee was traded to the Texas Rangers for 4 players. He and another player from Seattle were traded to the Texas Rangers for 4 players. Brian Schneider is the batter for the Phils, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the trade. Rangers get Cliff Lee and Mark Lowe, and the Mariners get 4 players, including 2 pitchers, as Schneider laces one to center field, but Heisey's there and will sink it all the way, and there are 2 outs. The big guy in the deal going to Seattle is Justin Smoke, who this year has 34 RBIs and 8 home runs in the big leagues. And Cliff Lee, who could be a free agent at the end of this season. When he woke up this morning, there were reports that he was going to New York to play for the Yankees. Rangers also received $2.5 million in cash. I kind of think the Mariners sent another pitcher along because there's probably no chance the Rangers will sign Cliff Lee after this year. Castro lines one to right, and Jay Bruce makes the catch, and it's a very easy second inning for Mike Lee. Phillies go down in order. We've played 2 here in South Philly. It's the Reds 4, the Phillies nothing. And please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, Wheels, in 1957, the Reds fans stuffed the ballot box and elected Reds at 7 of the 8 All-Star starters. Who was the only non-Reds player elected that year? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
I remember that. That was
well, they changed the way the voting goes after that. Looking at who the answer is, that guy's a pretty impressive guy to slide into that lineup.
I have no idea.
That doesn't really help you, though.
No, that's a tough. That's one of those. I remember they had a catcher named Ed Bailey, and that was controversial. I don't remember whether he got elected or he was the one you're talking about. Left-handed hitting catcher.
Well, what do you think about that a little bit? Miguel Cairo, who flied out to center his first time up. Count is no balls and 1 strike. And he hits it the opposite way. Jason Worth on the run. He goes down and it goes off his glove. And Cairo's going to be aboard with a leadoff single. And that'll be a base hit for Cairo. And the Reds have their 6th hit already.
Well, Cairo's a guy who'll shoot a lot of balls to right and right center, so you play him shallow in right field. It's slicing away from Jason Worth. He misjudged it a little bit. You could see him hesitate and then dives, and at least he blocked it. Because you don't see him dive and then bounce by him for a triple.
Well, with a runner at first and nobody out, Chris Heisey is the batter. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. And joining us from down in the dugout is Phil's bench coach, Pete Mackanin. Well, Pete, it's been a rough start so far for the Phils.
Yeah, we're in a rut. We got to get something clicking. Things aren't going our way. We need to string some hits together and get some momentum going.
Heisey struck out his first time up, and a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Well, Pete, you've seen games like this before. When you get down early, there's still plenty of time to get things rolling. You just have to, as you said, get some hits together and just get the momentum back over to the other side.
Well, especially in this ballpark, a long fly ball with a couple guys on could get you going. We got a double play coming up right here.
Hey, nice call.
We just got to get our offense going, get our pitching going. Joe is struggling a little bit right now, but we know he's better than this, and it just takes one good, strong inning to get that momentum.
Hey, Pete, wasn't that long ago you were over in that other dugout with the Cincinnati Reds, and they put together a pretty good ball club with some of these young guys. Did you see that coming with them that they had a chance to get good?
Well, they've changed a lot of their roster since I've been there. They've been making deals. They got Rowland. They got Gomes from wherever, and the Stubbs. I never really saw him. There's a whole new pitching rotation other than Harang. They've got a bunch of aggressive-looking hitters. Joey Votto came up when I first got there, and he made a good first impression. They've got a real good-looking bunch of hitters. Orlando Cabrera, I saw him when he was in Montreal. I coached third base for them, and he's always been a gold glove type infielder and a real good RBI guy. They put together a good bunch of guys.
Pete, you also, we saw last night how Brian Schneider was able to give the Phils the victory. As a staff, do you hope that something like that is what spurs the team on for the rest of this first half and then carry over to the All-Star break?
Well, of course, when you talk to other teams, and I know a lot of the guys here, coaches and what have you, and they all make the comment that every night somebody else does something good for the team and gets it going. So that's what we need to do, guys, to step up and one at a time come up with big hits.
All right, Pete, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you again.
You're welcome.
All right, Pete Buchanan, the Phils bench coach. The Phils looking for some offense when we come back in the bottom of the third. WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. And by Toyota. The loyalty of Toyota customers is a big part of our success. And we'd like to say thanks. Toyota, moving forward. Last of the third, Joe Blanton leads it off against Mike Leake. And Joe takes a strike on the outside corner. Joe 5 for 25 this year. His average at 200. And he chops one towards shortstop. Cabrera charges. And he throws Joe out for the first out here in the third. So one away and back to the top of the order. Mike Leake is part of a rotation for the Reds that is one of the youngest in baseball. In fact, they have 4 members of their rotation who are 26 or younger, including last night's starter, Johnny Cueto. And the guy that's going to start the final game of this series, Matt Maloney. Cueto was really good last night. He went 7 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. And they've got another guy who's rehabbing, who Wheels talked about last night, at Eninson Volquez. That one's off the end of the bat, but it still travels pretty good ways out towards center. And Jimmy's retired for the second out.
And the kid tomorrow night, Travis Wood, who's going to pitch for them, is only 23.
Right. They have Harang and they have Bronson Arroyo. So there's Wood. Aaron Harang and Bronson Arroyo are veterans, but they're getting a lot of, as we said, they're getting a boost from a lot of youngsters. There's Bronson Arroyo. He's a veteran who pitched in that Mets series, so the Phillies will not see him in the series.
Guitar player extraordinaire. He's playing rock bands.
Victorino takes a breaking ball low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Shane popped to left his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
Leak, a young pitcher out there who at this point is doing a good job front running with a lead. And that can really relax a guy, or sometimes it can take him out of his game. It hasn't taken him out of his game because he's throwing all his pitches. Well, he looks like he should still be in college, doesn't he? He said he looks like a surfer dude. He's from San Diego.
Yeah, he's from Fallbrook, California. As Victorino bounces that one toward the edge of the outfield grass, and Leak made a nice grab on that throw by Joey Votto. Side is retired in order. 1, 2, 3 for the second straight inning. We've completed our first 3 here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies have committed a couple errors. He's been fun to watch so far in his big league debut. You can get your tickets by logging on to Phillies.com. Hey, the ShopRite Cole Hamels lunch bag cooler, free defense 14 and under on the 22nd. I saw that today, and that is a great giveaway item. Again, you can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. We go to the 4th. Gary Matthews joins us. And Mike Leake leads it off. And speaking of the Nationals, they and the Giants are tied at 1 at the top of the 4th. Steven Strasburg has 4 strikeouts. That's a matchup of 2 pretty hard throwers, Strasburg and Matt Cain for the Giants. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leake, who singled his first time up, and that led to an extra run scoring for the Reds. Little number foul, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, it's Strasburg there. The first 3 games, he had 36 strikeouts, breaking J.R. Richards' record of 33. That's a lot of strikeouts, and especially for a youngster.
Swing and a miss. Leake is down swinging, and Brian Schneider will apply the tag for the first out. Well, and he probably would have continued to build on that record of strikeouts by a rookie in 4 games, in 5 games, in 6 games. The only problem is Kerry Wood struck out 20 in one of his rookie games, so he kind of took over the lead at that point, and Strasburg, he couldn't come up with anything like that.
Yeah, much different delivery, though, and this kid is still learning, and Kerry Wood did that after, I think, a couple of years. I would think they're in the major leagues, but the fact is, this kid has a better breaking ball, fastball that's around the plate. He is a intimidator.
All right, well, and he was a big topic of conversation a week ago because, a lot of folks that thought he should have been in the All-Star game. Brandon Phillips asked for time. It was not granted, and the pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes. I thought Charlie Manuel had a great quote, and Steven Strasburg appreciated it. Charlie said, let the kid figure out what it's like to be a major leaguer before you put him on an all-star team. He said he's going to be an all-star many times in the future, but just let him figure out what it's like to be a major league ball player.
Yeah, well, for me, I feel if you deserve it, you deserve it, whether or not you're a first-year player or not. But I just thought there were other pitchers that had better records and was pitching a little better.
A foul ball, and it's 1-2 to Phillips.
And keep in mind, too, he hasn't been here the whole year. Other guys have, and you have a guy like Arthur Rhodes there just on the Cincinnati's team who has not made an all-star team. This is his first one. The year that he's having, I would pick him rather than Strasburg just because of the years that they played.
That's a bullet right at Ryan Howard. He'll take it to the bag for the second out. 2 away. This is what Joe Blatton and the Phillies need. They need him to settle in and get some outs. Here is Arthur Rhodes out of the bullpen for Cincinnati, who will be going to his first All-Star game, and he's one of the oldest in baseball history to get to his first All-Star game. Satchel Paige was the oldest at the age of 46. And a swing and a miss by Cabrera, and it's 0-1.
Cabrera, over the years, a much better hitter than what he's hitting now. To notice, though, when they're putting the team together, they go out and get guys that have won before. They're kind of used to it. Well, Scott Rowland, he's a guy that's won, and then you bring guys in. Cabrera, they're able to teach some of the younger guys, and what happens is that they're not going to take anything for granted. They know that this lead is not safe until the end of the year, and consequently you get guys having years like Votto.
A little low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes. Good pitch by Joe Blatton. 1-2-3 go the Reds here in the 4th. It's the first 1-2-3 inning for Big Joe. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 3, 4, and 5 are due up. Suzuki and the amazing Kazashi Sports Sedan, and by Xfinity, it's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. Oh, bottom of the 4th, Phillies trail at 4-0. They're trying to get something rolling. As Raul Ibanez leads it off, he doubled his first time up. And a changeup in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Starting to hit the ball a little bit harder and staying on top of it. You can tell that because of the top spin he's getting on a lot of balls.
It's that one hard. He's got another base hit. Well, who knows when Placido Polanco or Chase Utley are going to come back. But if they can get Ibanez going by batting him in the 3-hole like they have, I mean, and it hasn't been every day. I mean, Chase is the normal number 3 hitter. But if they can get Ibanez going and then get everybody back healthy, even if it's Polanco in a couple of weeks and then eventually Chase, that's a huge boost to this lineup.
And especially, though, anyone that's hitting in the 3, 4, 5 spot. Those are the guys that consistently you need to hit the ball all year long in order for your club to be successful.
Ryan, who was hit by a pitch his first time up, takes one inside. It's 1-0. He lays off a tailing fastball. 2 balls and no strikes.
Should be able to pretty good swing on this pitch there. 2-0.
And he rips it to right field. That's going to be it for a base hit. Ibanez will continue on to third. Bruce has a heck of an arm. Here's his throw to second, and how about that? Ryan Howard is a dead duck. He put that right on the clothesline and just zipped it to Cabrera.
I got to tell you, you're not going to see and find a better arm. This ball there, he throws all the way. And not only that, throws the ball right on the money. Check this out here by Jay Bruce. This ball is hit like a bullet, comes up to him, and he fires in one motion. And he does get Howard and gets him by plenty. That's a play, however, when you're running, and he was running from the get-go, but the play's in front of you. You can take a look at that, and when he catches it and you see him throwing, you can stop. And players do that, but he had his head down and running all the way and didn't see it and going for 2 all the way.
So now a runner at third and 1 out. I guess that's a product of obviously being aggressive on Ryan's part, Sarge, but also trying to do maybe a little bit more than you need to at this point.
Well, we talk about the scoreboard always dictates what you're going to do.
That one's hit to left. Gomes coming on, makes the catch. Ibanez tags from third. The throw to the plate on a few hops, not in time, and the Phillies are on the board. 49th RBI for Jason Worth. It's a 4-1 game.
Well, he's got to feel good about driving in that run. He hasn't been doing that. Got jammed on it. Ibanez very aggressive. See this ball as it's hit. He comes in then, has that momentum going in. Not as strong as arm, and usually a guy that plays left field will not have the arm of a right fielder.
Inside and low, 1-0 to Greg Dobbs.
But just touching on Ryan Howard a little bit, though, that is an aggressive play. You want them to be aggressive. You know, if he gets thrown out like that in the 0-0, that's, you know, or 2-2 late inning, that's still for me a good play. Trying to get there. You're down now 3-0. So for me, you got to make sure 4-0. Excuse me. You got to make sure you're able to get there on that bag.
Dobbs flying out to left his first time up. He's 0 for 1. And he's behind 1 and 2. So Raul with 2 hits tonight. Now a run scored. That's this lead to 3. With a low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
As Diaz, pretty good umpire in terms of the balls and strikes. Doesn't get a lot of arguments either from players.
Swing and a miss, and Dobbs down swinging for the final out here in the 4th. But the Phillies do get a run. After the base hit by Ibanez, he scores on a sac fly. We go to the 5th with Joey Votto set to lead it off. Or the Wachovia Center, you can enjoy deep discounts on already discounted merchandise from the Phillies, the Sixers, and the Flyers. Visit Phillies.com for more information. There'll be specials on the concessions, plus free parking and an appearance by the Fanatic. We go to the 5th. Joey Votto leads it off for the Reds. Phillies are on the board, so it's a 4-1 lead for Cincinnati. Votto has singled and scored. He's also walked. .60 RBIs for Joey Votto. Put him 5th in the National League in that category. Ryan Howard has moved all the way up to the 2 spot in RBIs behind David Wright of the Mets. It's a pretty impressive climb for Ryan.
Oh, impressive for Ryan, Votto, and
David Wright.
David Wright.
Yeah, David Wright and Ryan Howard both have picked up a lot of steam with the RBIs the last month or so.
You got to have guys on base to do that. You have to be consistent yourself in driving the ball.
Inside and low, 3-1.
Got to be careful here. Make sure you make a good pitch.
That wasn't bad. That just missed. Blanton thought he had it. And it's ball 4. Second walk issued by Joe. And Joe is coming off a 1-2-3 fourth. His first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. So now, a guy that, I mean, he's been dangerous because he's having a heck of a year, but he's been really dangerous tonight. Johnny Gomes, he has 4 runs batted in.
Well, fitting in good, hitting right around 279 coming into the game.
Quick toss over, and Votto is picked off, and he knew it. Just like Jimmy Rollins earlier, Votto was leaning, and Joe Blanton caught him.
Yeah, quick feet, you can get that runner out. Might have been trying to get a little extra step. Take a look at Dusty Baker, the manager. Votto going right past him. There it is, and he knows him himself. He just way too far. Was trying to time him to be able to go, and he's out dead duck there at first base.
On the outside corner, it's 0-1. But James Hoy, who's over at first base, is sitting there thinking, wait a minute, wasn't there a pickoff last night? 2 tonight? That's 3 pickoffs now in 2 games.
Wow.
Plus a play that's still difficult to explain last night with Johnny Cueto and Joey Votto. Wow. 0-2 the count to Johnny Gomes. Little cue shot right past the mound. Castro charges, bare hands, flips, not in time. And Johnny Gomes hustles all the way, and he hustles out his 3rd hit of the day. That is a play that Chase has patented with his glove and flipping with his glove. And Castro really did all he could to make that play, and Gomes was hustling the entire time.
Yeah, smelling this hit. He comes in, bare hands it. He flips, but didn't get a lot on it. See, he comes in and he flips it, and it just tosses up in the air. Gomes almost outrunning that ball, if you will, as it was in the air.
That was an awfully close play at first. And Jay Bruce swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. The gentleman made a fine play on that pop foul. Somebody lost their phone. Runner goes. Pitch is lined back toward the middle, and it's hit to center field, and Gomes is on his way to 3rd. that ball was crushed right past Blanton. Dusty Baker, I'm not sure if that was a hit and run, Sarge, but he's been doing it a few times already in this 2-game series.
Yeah, that definitely was the hit and run. And again, that ball, when you hit and run, as a hitting coach, all you want the guy to do is hit the ball hard. Yeah, you'd like for it to be on the opposite side. That ball hit like a bullet. Good thing, too, Joe getting his feet out of the way. Thought about maybe trying to kick the ball. Automatic, though, going first and third on a base hit when you're running.
Well, now that infield single by Gomes puts runners on first and third after the base hit by Bruce. And here's Cairo. And the Phillies scored their first run, their only run, in the home fourth. And now they're looking for one of those shutdown innings here in the fifth. And it hasn't started that way. They play for two up the middle. And a swing and a miss by Cairo. It was 1 for 2. He singled to right his last time up.
Well, one of the reasons, too, you can put that hit and run on is that you have a guy that can swing the bat and then a predictable pitch just about. You know Blanton's going to be around the plate. So guys that are around the plate, you can put the hit and run on.
I think Joe's fighting Laz Diaz a little bit here.
He's having emotions like he feels that a couple of those balls he's thrown, and including that one, was a strike. That might have been a little high.
At the knees, and it's 1-2. Laz Diaz's 10th year as a major league umpire. Hot shot foul right off the base of the tarp. And it remains 1-2. And there's a happy fan. You saw him holler out, "Thank you."
Blanton came in with that fastball and has been getting them out with that little slider. Looks like he's coming in with another fastball, and they'll decide to fake to third, see if the runner's going to be running.
You ever been picked off by that as we look at the Red Sox beating the Jays 10-0 on the Toyota Major League scoreboard? Has that play ever picked you off?
Never picked me off. I've been picked off before, but not on a play like that.
Toward third base. That's a foul ball just over the head of Gomes.
You know, I used to think that play never works, but it does. I saw Pat Henkin do that with the Toronto Blue Jays and picked off 4 guys 1 year, so it does work.
Well, there must be something he was doing that was selling it.
Yeah, he was balking because he was actually going right toward home plate. But he does it so quick that the umpires just don't call it because there's so much action going around.
No one's high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think that was a slider by Blanton that just didn't slide. Johnny Gomes is over at third. Jay Bruce is at first. 1 man down here in the top of the 5th. A 4-1 Reds lead. The Reds in first place in the Central, 3 games up over the St. Louis Cardinals. Phillies 5.5 games back in the East.
He's been throwing in. He's got him set up for that little slider.
Runner goes, and the pitch is hit in the air to right center field. Jason Worth on the run into the alleyway. Reaches out. He can't get it. It's off the top of the wall on 1 hop, and 2 runs are going to score. Cairo's going to third. The throw is there in time to get him, but it's 6-1 Cincinnati. And Miguel Cairo is 2 for 3. You know this better than I do, Sarge, but I think Cairo was going to third to make sure that he drew the throw and make sure it didn't go home.
Yeah, I think getting a little bit greedy, though, for me on that, because those runners there are going to automatically score. He actually ran in two and out there. Victorino getting that ball and tossing it in. You see a double clutch there and gets him by plenty. So if he's reading the play and looking at the runners, he knows those guys are in. He can stay there at second base.
Pretty good swing, though, by Cairo.
Oh, great swing as he drives the ball in. Clutch swing last night, coming up with a 2-out base hit.
Well, David Herndon is listening in the bullpen. Joe Blatton's thrown 90 pitches. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Chris Heisey.
A lot of
pitches.
2. Sorry, Tom. Just a lot of pitches, though, in the 5th inning. And you do that, tears the bullpen up again.
That's going to be another hit to right. And this night just is not going well for the Phils and Joe Blatt.
Well, good thing Cairo was thrown out there trying to stretch that double into a triple. Other than that, you would have runners on first and third. He hit the ball so hard, don't think he would have been able to actually score. Not with Jason Wirtz on.
Well, the other play, too, which is still the biggest play of this inning, is Johnny Gomes legging out an infield hit on a little roller over to second base. You figure that would have been the second out. Instead, he scores along with Jay Bruce.
Now, the one thing, though, the Cincinnati Reds have bought into from Dusty Baker is 27 outs. Play them as hard as you possibly can. And making sure and having the same meaning that Charlie had and saying making sure you finish up strong the rest of these games. A lot of times when you see the All-Star game coming up, you get a little bit laxed as a player, especially if you know you're not going to be in the All-Star game and getting ready, hopefully, for that second half. You just got to finish this up as hard as you can.
Corky Miller takes a hack at that pitch, and it's 2-1. Well, Dusty Baker, as we mentioned last night, with over 1,300 victories as a Major League manager. He had a lot of success with the Giants, some success with the Cubs, but I think he'll tell you he was disappointed with the way that ended. And he's kind of turned things around here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, we all were.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you were part of that.
Yeah, not to say we did so good over there. They fired us all. We end up trading Alou, our best clutch hitter. And they put Mr. Hollingsworth.
Todd Hollingsworth.
And Du Bois.
Jason Du Bois.
Jason Du Bois, who also went to Cleveland. They said he was going to do the same thing that Moise did. Didn't happen.
Corky Miller's down on strikes. The side is retired, but the Reds get 2 more runs in the inning on 4 hits. They strand one. Miguel Cairo, the big blow, a 2-run double. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Go to MillerHighLife.com for details. What they'd like you to do is save your caps and your tabs from your Miller High Life beverages, and you can redeem them. Again, go to MillerHighLife.com for more information. And as Brian Schneider swings at the first pitch for Mike Leake to start the fifth. There's one away. And with one gone, it'll bring Juan Castro to the plate. Castro was not in the original starting lineup. Wilson Valdez was scheduled to start at second again. Valdez, though, hurt his left wrist in last night's ball game, sliding. So they decided to give him the night off. I'm hoping he'll be back tomorrow. He's done a good job at second base, short at third. Also gives Castro a chance to get some hacks. And there's Wilson. Had a couple hits in last night's ball game. Back toward the middle, softly hit. Brandon Phillips has got it. And 3 pitches, 2 outs here in the fifth. After the ball game, get exclusive clubhouse reactions plus expert analysis from former Phil Darren Dalton on Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Sloan Toyota. That's right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Darren Dalton, who is going to be on the Phillies Wall of Fame later on this year. A great honor for the guy that Harry said was the greatest leader that he has ever seen in a Phillies uniform. Helping the Phils to the '93 World Series. Right back to Leake. This is going to be a fast inning for the rookie pitcher. Phillies go down 1-2-3. We've completed 5 already here in Philadelphia. We go on to the 6th, and the Reds are leading it by 5. Boats, Halliday makes his 3rd straight trip, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, the Fanatic is doing its best Lady Gaga impersonation. You really had to be here to see the entire show, but it was rather entertaining. I don't know where the Fanatic gets all those outfits, but he must have a large budget.
I'll say.
Fanatic was entertaining the crowd before the ball game and entertaining the Cincinnati Reds and the umpiring crew. In fact, he was standing next to Laz Diaz while Laz was taking the lineup cards and mimicking just about everything he was doing. As Mike Leake leads it off here in the top of the 6th. Leake is 1 for 2. He has singled. He's singled twice now. He's also struck out. And the fans are letting Joe Blanton know it. And they're not happy with what they're watching here tonight. He's given up 2 hits to the pitcher.
Tell you what, this guy here swings the bat pretty good. Has pretty good little setup. He hit a bullet right up the middle. Joe not very happy about that. Well, you see the bullpen starting to go. Rich Doobie, pitching coach, calling the bullpen. And we got action.
Well, David Herndon is up and throwing for a second time. Back to the top of the order, Brandon Phillips, 0 for 3. He scored a run in the first. This has not been a very crisp game for the Phillies. They've committed 2 errors. And Joe Blanton, his pitch count has suffered because of it. And because he's given up also 11 hits. And he's already at 100 pitches. Swing and a miss. That's a good pitch, and it's 1-1.
Well, he has to be able to mix them up. The fastball, that slider will get the guys off the fastball, but it has to be the one that you saw just then. When the ball's breaking away from that hitter and not up in the zone. Looks like a fastball and darting away.
Toward the gap in left center field. That's going to get down, and Victorino will play it on a few hops. His quick throw to second to try to get Phillips is in time. Good play by Victorino. Not a smart play by Phillips. But I guess when you're up by 5, you can take a chance like that.
Well, I don't understand that play because he has it right in front of him. I thought when he first hit the ball, didn't really take off. Good throw, however, by Victorino. Right on the money. As you see, he tries to do that little phantom fake tag where he goes for the bag, takes his hand away, and then tries to hit it again. Castro not going for any of that.
Well, that's it for Joe Blanton. His night is done. He's given up 12 hits in this ball game, and he'll give way. Five and a third for the Phillies. And now the Phillies bullpen, which, as we've mentioned time and time again, has not been overused for the long haul, but they're going to be used tonight, and they were used last night with that extra inning game. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 5 and a third for Blanton. And the Phillies have to play the infield in.
I just can't afford to give up any more runs at this particular juncture of the game. You see David Herndon's numbers for the season.
Try to come back with the same pitch. This time Cabrera lays off. 1 ball and 1 strike to him. Cabrera is 0 for 3. He's flying to right twice softly, and he's also struck out. Not a good night for Joe Blatton. Hasn't been a good night so far for the Phils.
Well, they squared a lot of balls up, hit a lot of balls hard. When they're doing that and he's not getting the ground balls, not going to have the success that he wants. Not a pitcher that can throw the ball by you, so he needs his control and ground balls, hitters off balance. A lot of hitters off balance.
Chopper toward third. Dobbs cuts it off in fair territory. Throws to first, and Ryan Howard has to tag out Cabrera for the second out. Leake holds up at third. So 2 away.
Pretty good play by Ryan Howard as Dobbs comes in and catches it in fine fashion. Just lets it go high and a little bit wide. Ryan making sure that he tags a runner coming across.
Now, do you pitch carefully with Joey Votto up here?
Oh, I'd say so. Absolutely.
Even though Gomes has 3 hits and 4 RBIs.
Well, we've seen the damage and the power Votto has.
He moved his feet there, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
That's about as solid as you can get for a first half. 22 bombs. 60 RBIs.
He has 2 more home runs than Albert Pujols and Adam Dunn coming into the game tonight.
Hey, really, if you were taking a vote at this particular juncture, you'd have to say this young man would be the MVP.
Off the outside corner, 2 balls and 1 strike to Votto.
Well, he does have that little bit of a kick, but he gets that leg down. See the numbers there a year ago. He's always been able to hit there and hit for that high average. Just a good eye right there.
Mike Leake is over at third, 2 outs. Johnny Gomes looming on deck with 3 hits tonight. And there's ball 4. Votto draws another walk. It's his 3rd of the night. So Herndon now, just like in the 2nd inning, when Joe Blatton walked Votto, will face a right-handed batter in Johnny Gomes.
Yeah, no sense in going right at him when he's been this hot. Take a look in the 1st inning. Gomes, as he goes deep, and he knew it was gone. That ball was a sinker right out over the plate. Didn't have that hard sink. Again, Joe has to be either in or out. Can't be down the middle, and if he does, he's going to get hurt.
Mentioned that Gomes had been 3 for his last 19 coming in. He's 3 for 3 tonight. He sat out last night's ball game. And Dusty Baker was just giving him a night to clear his head. Well, he cleared it all right. 0-2 the count. Slider right along the belt. That's a pretty good production right there. Votto was picked off his last time he was on first by Blatton, and he wasn't moving there. 0-2 the count. There he goes. And the pitch is hit foul off the facing of the Camberwell fence. Votto will go back to first. Dusty Baker, as Sarge said, told his crew basically the same thing Charlie Manuel did. Finish up strong in this first half. They've had a long road trip. They're 5-3 on this road trip so far. Charlie had his meeting yesterday with the club going into this final weekend series. Swing and a miss. He got him. Big pitch for David Herndon, just to strand a couple base runners here at the top of the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, excuse me, 2 hits, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Dealer.com by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by the Quality Plus 4 dealers. Last of the 6th here at Citizens Bank Park, and the Phillies need to get going. They trail at 6-1. The Reds with 6 runs on 12 hits. The Phillies a run on 4 hits. They've committed 2 errors. And Jimmy Rollins will lead it off against Mike Leake, who is just coming along here for Cincinnati. He's only allowed the 4 hits. The 1 run came in the 4th. Rollins led off the first with a single, but then was picked off by Leake. I'm stunned when I look up at the pitch count for Mike Leake. I know that folks around baseball, even us at times, we make a big deal out of pitch counts. That was his 47th pitch of the night.
Been around the plate, guys.
Or 48th, excuse me.
First pitch swinging, popping some balls up. Yeah, this is a guy that you should be able to handle as a major league hitter. Again, he's around the plate, throws the ball 86, 88.
Well, that's an average, Sarge, of 9 pitches per inning.
Again, you got to give him credit.
3-2 the count to Jimmy.
Take a little off here, add a little there. Haven't seen him in really any kind of trouble here. So.
Jimmy hits it in the air to right field. Plenty of room for Jay Bruce. And there's the first out. So 1 gone here at the bottom of the 6th, and they'll bring Shane Victorino to the plate. 45,029 here tonight. Another sellout at Citizens Bank Park. Fireworks night. Last night's fireworks show was the first of 2 this weekend. And it's 0-1 to Victorino. And a chopper over the mound. Cabrera takes a big hop. 2 outs. Now the San Francisco Giants with pretty good pitching staff coming to town Tuesday, August 17th. That's the first of a 3-game series. All 3 games are night games here at the ballpark. You can get your tickets by logging on to Phillies.com. not only for that series, but also all the series coming up against the National League West and the Washington Nationals in the month of August. Phillies are going to be playing some important ball games, particularly with the way the Braves are playing. Phillies 5.5 games out as play begins tonight. Although it's probably too early to think about the wild card, but they're 2.5 games behind the wild card. And they trail it tonight 6-1. 1-1 the count to Ibanez.
There's some more of that movement there by Leake. Little two-seamer just kind of running away. He's keeping it in a pretty good spot, having the ball down.
The thing that surprises you about this kid, the fact that he hasn't played in the minors, he's not big, and he doesn't overpower you.
Knows how to pitch.
Back toward the middle, backhanded by Phillips, stops behind the bag, and Ibanez is retired, and the side is retired in order. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. We've played 6 very quickly here at Citizens Bank Park. We go to the 7th with the Phillies down 6-1.
Start tonight, and he hit the ball out of the ballpark, and the Reds had a quick 3-0 lead. Second inning, Gomes hits a screamer, and Greg Dobbs goes off his glove, and a run scores there. As Corky Miller scored, they got off to a 4-0 start. Phillies made it 4-1 as we look at the Verizon Wireless game summary. Then the Reds added 2 more in the 5th inning. Gomes has had a big game, even though he wasn't in the lineup. Miguel Cairo, 2-run double to right field. Joe Blanton out after 5 1/3 tonight, 12 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. And boy, that Leake is something. He's only thrown 50-some pitches, Mike Leake, and he just moves it around.
Yeah, 57 pitches, or excuse me, 58 pitches for Leake through 6 innings. And now as we go to the top of the 7th, it'll be Jay Bruce to lead things off. Now we told you about Johnny Gomes was supposed to bat 5th tonight. Jay Bruce was supposed to bat 6th tonight. Scott Rowland was originally scheduled to be the cleanup hitter. So these guys both moved up 2 spots in the order. Gomes has 4 RBIs and 3 hits, and Bruce has scored a run and has been on base twice.
And Miguel Cairo gets into the game tonight, and he produces.
Yeah, Cairo had a 2-run double in the 5th, and then also had a base hit to right field his second time
Yeah,
out.
Gomes didn't play last night. Lance Nix played instead of him. There's Miguel. Did a nice job for the Phillies while he was here, and a great guy in the clubhouse. He's going to be a tremendous manager or coach someday in the major leagues if he wants to do that, because he has a good way with people.
3 balls, no strikes the count to Bruce. And there's a strike from Herndon. first base line. That'll stay fair. Ryan Howard will pick it up and one away. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Now one away. Miguel Cairo is the hitter. As we said, Cairo with 2 hits tonight, 2 for 3. He's done stuff this year against the Phillies that we didn't see him do a whole lot with the Phillies last year. Now, he had a good month of September, which earned him a spot on the postseason roster, but he didn't take as many pitches as he's taken this year with the Reds. At least it didn't seem that way, did it?
Well, I think his first 9 at bats as a pinch hitter, he swung at the first pitch 8 times and hit fly balls to right field. Just wasn't working out.
So he's changed his approach
a little bit. Probably getting some more at bats too. Getting a chance to play once in a while.
Half-hearted swing at that one. It's 1-2.
Kind of getting on him in Phillies dugout a little bit and see him laugh. Looked over there and started laughing.
Opposite way, little looper over the head of Castro. Here comes Jason Worth. He's not going to get there, and it's a 1-out single. So 1 away. Third 3-hit game of the season for Miguel Cairo. And here's Chris Heisey. Second throw over to chase Cairo back. He does not have a big lead. I mentioned you and I were doing a news hit earlier tonight about the Phillies bullpen. The fact that they hadn't really thrown a lot of innings this year. Well, the last couple of games they've had to pick up the pace with the number of innings they've pitched because of the extra inning games and because of a game like this.
Yeah, when your starter goes a little bit early tonight in the long extra inning games, you have to have some guys come in and be able to pitch 2 innings. You hope they can. And Nelson Figueroa certainly was able to do that. He's probably not available tonight. Now David Herndon trying to pick up some stuff.
Line drive, base hit to left field. Ibanez is going to cut it off. Cairo will hold up at second. So 2 on with 1 out. Second hit for Heisey, and that is the 14th hit for the Reds. Now I asked Nelson Figueroa, I said, Nelson, 2 more tonight? He goes, I can go.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they'll shut a guy down too.
Yeah.
But that's a great attitude to have. Say, yeah, I'm ready to go, and they tell me no. That's different. But I'm not going to say no unless I really can't go.
Phillies starting staff coming into this ball game had 541 in a third innings. There's Nelson. 10 complete games, fewest walks issued. As Corky Miller takes one for a strike, it's 0-1. Now, when you talk about whether a guy can go or not, or whether he needs a night off, a lot will depend on how many innings he's pitched, let's say in consecutive days, or how many times he's gotten up and thrown in the bullpen. That leads to it too.
It all factors into it, absolutely.
Now, pitchers throw before a game. They'll throw down the right field line, stretch themselves out, and at that point, after they throw, that's when Rich Doobie and Charlie Manuel will usually talk and decide, okay, who needs a break, who can go again, and they'll discuss it right before the start of the ball game.
Yeah, and they have Charlie has a sheet in front of him every night on how the guy's been used.
Swing and a miss, and Corky Miller is retired for the second out. Good pitch from David Herndon. The communication takes place between Charlie and Rich Doobie, but Pete McCannon, his bench coach, is also involved, as they'll discuss matchups as the game moves on.
This Mike Leake is different. 5 multi-hit games. Not like he has any power or anything, but he is such, you can tell he's an athlete. They were telling us out in Cincinnati, you can't hit a ball past him on the mound. He's such a good fielder. Said he makes plays that are just outrageous. And he's made a couple of good fielding plays here tonight. They just, when you're around a guy and you get to see him all the time, you get a feel for him. And the Reds people just think he's really special.
See, his average is up to 371. He has 13 hits. And it's no balls at 2 strikes.
He does load up. Well, you watch him. He loads up like a hitter. Watch him. Look at him load up. I mean, that's a little bit of a pitcher's swing there. It's a little bit armsy, but it's aggressive. Chokes up a little. Respect to him, a slider.
And he fouls one off to remain alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reds scored 3 in the first, added 1 more in the second, and then 2 in the 5th. They've had base runners throughout the course of this ball game, and 2 more here, with Heisey at first and Cairo at second. And the 1-2 pitch to Leake. And foul again, this time up the first base line.
He struck out 7 times. Make it 8. He had 1 tonight. Joe Blanton got him 1 time.
8 times and 35 at bats. So 13 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 35 at bats. I tried to see what he did in college. If he hit in college, I couldn't find any numbers.
Probably telling the coach, get me in there somewhere.
Well, a lot of times that'll happen in the college game. He played at Arizona State, so it's a high level, a very competitive level of baseball. The only thing I saw were his numbers as a pitcher, which included 16 wins last year.
You give the club level a souvenir.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Nationals tacked on a couple more against the Giants. They lead at 4-1. Strasburg, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. The game's now gone to the top of the 7th. 3-2 the count. So the runners will be off. He was down 0-2. And he's worked himself back ahead, 3 balls and 2 strikes with Brandon Phillips on deck. Runners take off, and a line drive foul. This will be the 10th pitch of this at bat. It's included all kinds of foul balls. Grounders up the third base line, the first base line, and just that line shot right there. Runners take off again. And another foul ball. Six foul balls. A lot of the Reds folks are listening to.
They're getting a kick out.
Oh,
of
yes.
this. Tony Cueto.
Runners go again. Ball 4. So Leake is aboard for the 3rd time. And the bases are loaded. Back to the top of the order. I was about to say, a lot of folks in Cincinnati are talking about, you know, Jason Hayward is sort of the odds-on favorite to win the Rookie of the Year because of his numbers. And some of the Reds folks are saying, well, hold on a second. We got a pitcher in Mike Leake that they got to consider.
Yeah, don't give him the award yet. You know, let the season play itself out here.
Brandon Phillips has a base hit tonight. He's been on base a couple times as Leake will take his lead off first. The bases are loaded. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. He'll appeal. No swings is James Hoy, first base umpire. There's Dennis Baez up and throwing the pen for the Phils. Charlie was probably hoping to get Herndon through this inning. Not that he's due up in the 7th, but just to get him 2 innings of work. He's certainly working. There's a foul tip into the glove of Schneider. It's 2-1. Over at third is Miguel Cairo. At second is Chris Heisey. And around at first is Mike Leake. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Towards shortstop. It should be the final out. Rollins has it, flips to Castro covering, and the side is retired. It was a little dicey for David Herndon. He strands the bases loaded, but he gets the Reds out here in the top of the 7th. Time to stretch here at Philadelphia. Quiz. You know, in 1957, the Reds fans stuffed the ballot box and elected Reds as 7 of 8 All-Star starters. Who was the only non-Reds player elected that year?
So Ed Bailey, who I brought up, was one of those guys that was put on the team, and people objected to it. So he's not the answer.
He is not the answer.
All right,
no.
well, give me a hint. What position the guy played?
He was an outfielder, and I would think that he was a fan favorite anywhere he played. Just because of his style of play, his sweet swing. There's a statue of him in his city, and we're going to go to his city very soon. That's a lot of hints.
A statue of him in his city, and we're going to go to it pretty soon.
Yeah. It's not a Red.
Oh, it's not a... I thought you said
it was the only non-Red.
Oh, Billy Williams.
That would be incorrect.
Sweet swinging Billy Williams. You
No.
just said sweet swinging.
No.
We're going to Chicago.
Stan the man. Stan Musial.
Oh. Okay. When you said sweet swinging, I thought you meant Billy Williams.
Yeah, I guess I did throw you off a little bit.
No. Hey.
I was trying to mix the harmonica in there somewhere.
No, the harmonica. Yeah.
All right, now this is the way the All-Star team looked.
See, there he is.
Stan the man.
There he is right there, Ed Bailey.
Yep.
And I remember when that happened, and Johnny Temple was another guy. McMillan, they were all good players.
Right.
What
happened was, as Ryan Howard pops one foul, it's 0-2, is that the Cincinnati Enquirer printed up all these ballots.
Right.
So their fans, the fans of the Reds, could fill them out and send them in. Well, Ford Frick, who was the commissioner of baseball at the time, decided to appoint Hank Aaron and Willie Mays as starters for Gus Bell and Wally Post. So 3 outfielders from teams other than the Reds were eventually named starters because the ballots were stuffed so much.
Yeah.
And that ended fan voting until 1970 in Major League Baseball. How about that?
That's a great quiz tonight and a tremendous history lesson in this 6-1 game. Enjoyed that.
Which is not over yet.
No, far from it.
Just giving you a little pause. You can log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
I remember that so well because I brought up Ed Bailey to you, and for whatever reason, they really took off on poor Ed Bailey. That of all the people that were on that thing, how could this guy be on there?
Well, he was probably the weakest link.
He must have been, but Roy McMillan wasn't a guy that swung the bat much. Johnny Temple didn't either, really. They were all, these guys were good players, don't get me wrong. But, you can see why there was some consternation about them being all-stars. So Ryan is a strikeout victim. 1 out here in the 7th. Here's Jason Worth. And he takes a pitch for a strike. This guy's pitch count.
It's unbelievable. 65 pitches. Jason has driven in the lone run for the Phils. Sac fly in the 4th. "22 years old, Mike Leake, out of Fallbrook, California." You name the Hall of Famer that's from Fallbrook, California?
No. Who do you play for?
Dodgers.
What era?
50s.
Duke Snyder from there?
Yeah.
That's one of your hints work for me.
Line drive, base hit for Jason. So Jason's aboard. That is only the 5th hit for the Phillies. And Corky Miller is going out to talk to the young right-hander who is only, as we said, thrown at 69 pitches tonight.
Yeah, they're not worried about getting the bullpen up right now because pitch count is so low. And he has a 5-run lead.
Well, it's 1980s Retro Night on Thursday, July 29th at 7:05. That will wrap up a 3-game series between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. So plan ahead for this month of July. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. 1 out, 1 on. Greg Dobbs the hitter. And Greg hits a foul toward the Phillies dugout. 0-1 the count. Greg is popped to left. He's also struck out. Inside corner, and it's 0-2.
Reds have really crowded him in this series. They're throwing a lot of pitches in, and he's gotten jammed. He didn't think that was a strike, and has something to say to Diaz about it. But they really have been committed to coming inside on him, whether it's breaking ball or fastball. And there again.
Johnny Cueto did it last night. And tonight it's Leake who's applying that game plan. Little low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Worth leads off first. Nice play by that fan.
Yeah, he didn't want to catch that on the line.
I wouldn't have either if I were him.
Oh, that was a screamer.
Two and 2 the count to Dobbs. And Jason's back diving. Swing and a miss. He goes after a changeup and is retired. Second strikeout of the inning for Leake.
That's a really good sequence. I mean, Miller walked him through that, and he has the ability to do what the catcher wanted. That's throw in, and then get him out of the way with a changeup. So aware of every pitch being inside that he float that little dead fish out there. And, you know, it's a tough pitch to hit, and it looked like it was a strike anyway. Close enough with 2 strikes.
3 strikeouts tonight for Leake. Here's Brian Schneider, and that one's in on the hands. A pop up behind second. So aside from the base hit by Jason Worth, this has turned out to be an easy inning for Mike Leake. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. 7 in the books here in Philadelphia. Orlando Cabrera is due to lead it off for the Reds. McDonald's. McCafe your day at McDonald's with a new McCafe Frappe. A look inside both teams' bullpens. And in front of a sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies trail at 6-1. And they'll go to the bullpen one more time. Here's Danny Baez will be the new pitcher. 35th game for Denny's. 2-3 with a 4.60 earned run average. David Herndon threw 2 scoreless innings. He allowed some base runners, but still was able to get through the 6th and the 7th, I should say, an inning and 2/3. So Baez will face Orlando Cabrera, Jody Votto, and Johnny Gomes for the Reds. A win tonight, and the Reds will assure themselves first place going to the All-Star break. This very proud franchise has not won the Central since 1995.
Well, you know, we talked about we were in Cincinnati last week. You just used the term very proud franchise. Great baseball city that they just haven't had a very good team for a long time. And they have a good team this year. And hopefully the fans will come out and really support them. Because they like the game. And Dusty's done a good job with them. They have some good young players. You know, they're mixing in a decent pitching staff. Their bullpen's been okay. And they're in a division that can be won. You know, other than the Cardinals, that division is up, you know, ready for the taking. And maybe it's their turn this year. We'll see.
2-2 the count to Cabrera. The Cardinals, as we said, are 3 games back. Now they're winning tonight against Houston. The lights are bothering Johnny Cueto.
He's like a left-hander. He's a little bit of a loose cannon, I think.
He's got one of Dusty's toothpicks.
It may be. It looks a little longer than that. He was out here working today. You kid around about him, but you know he's running the steps today, running the outfield after his start last night. So he's a guy that evidently works.
Nice pick by Dobbs on the backhand, and Cabrera's retired.
That's a really good play.
Very good play.
And that ball was smoked. Danny Baez gives him a little motion with a glove there, like pitchers do to a player after they made a good play. That's outstanding. That looked like a double when it left the bat. There's another look at it. Nice backhand on the short hop. Throws him out.
That'll bring Votto to the plate. The Phillies have kind of worked around Votto since his. Well, they can't work around him here. That one's in the air to center field. Victorino, a long run, and he got there. They say they've worked around him in every at bat except for his first one when he singled to left, and Shane puts it away for the second out.
I think Votto has also shown you why he's the kind of player that he is. And he, you know, if they weren't going to give him anything to hit, he just walked. You know, a lot of times when you're as good as that guy, you just go up there and be a little bit of a wild swinger, try to hit home runs. You know, he's a good player. You know, you walk that many times out of that 3-hole, you know, let the guys behind you take care of it if they don't want to pitch to you.
Johnny Gomes has driven in 4 of the 6 runs for the Reds tonight. And a breaking ball that drops in for strike 1. .60 RBIs for Johnny Gomes. He's on pace to collect 100 RBIs for the Reds.
Yeah, and sometimes when you have a good year, you catch lightning in a bottle with a player too. And that's what's happening with Gomes right now. Not that he isn't a good player, but he's having a tremendous season and really fitting in well with this club.
He did a nice job for them last year, and he thought that would warrant a contract extension, or at least a contract at the end of the season. Well, that didn't come. That Gomes had to wait, and then finally, as the offseason moved on, the Reds gave him a chance to rejoin the club.
Well, he's certainly paying it back, and now he will get paid, whether it's here or somewhere else.
A little high, and it's 3-2. Jay Bruce waits on deck. Over toward Dobbs again. Backs up on it a little bit. Makes the play. Throws to first. In time to get Gomes. A 1-2-3-8 for Danny Baez. Reds are retired in order. We go to the 8th. The bottom of the order is due up for the Phils. Florida. You want to go? Well, give a call, 610-520-3400. Now, space is limited, and it's for folks who are 30 years old or older. It's a great opportunity to go down to Bright House Field in Clearwater and play some baseball with some of the Phil's legends. On Castro with the second pitch of the inning. Bounces out to short. One away here in the 8th. Drew Stubbs comes on to play center field for the Reds. Moving over to left field, Chris Heisey. Somebody must have said something entertaining for Heisey, or he may have spotted a close friend. Stubbs will bat fourth. Ross Globe pinch hits here for Danny Baez. Globe's had some good numbers against the Reds. 7 for 13 against them, as you just saw. 3 home runs to the pinch hitter overall. And it's 0-1. The way the Phillies won last night's ball game and the way they've struggled over the last handful of weeks. Just look for that one game that could be the spark. I mean, maybe it's unrealistic, but you know, in the game of baseball, you never know when momentum will change or when the tide of momentum will change. But the Reds came out and put a 3 spot on the board in the first. As Glode pops it up down the left field line into foul territory. Long run for everybody. How about Heisey closing and making the catch? 2 outs.
Well, they just moved from center to left, so they obviously feel he can play some center field for them. And he caught that ball like a center fielder. Great range, tremendous speed, and he is hauling going into foul territory there. Everybody else is taking a slide out there to get out of the way. Tremendous play.
Well, 2 outs, back to the top of the order. Anyway, you kind of expected that maybe there'd be a little momentum carried over to today, and it was zapped right away with that 3-run first.
Yeah, zapped is a good way to put it. That took a little bit of the life out. They made an error on the first hitter. Jimmy made an error on a ground ball.
Right side, Votto gobbles it up. Leake is there to cover, and another easy inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils here in the 8th. Leake has thrown 83 pitches through 8 innings tonight. We go to the 9th. It's 6-1 Reds. Comcast Sportsnet. Top of the 9th, 6-1 Cincinnati. Phillies will have one more chance against presumably Mike Leake, because there's nobody loosening up in their bullpen. Meanwhile, the Phillies have J.C. Romero on to pitch the top of the 9th. J.C. 27th game, 1-0, a 2.08 ERA. Joe Blanton started. He went 5 1/3. And then David Herndon, an inning and 2/3. Danny Baez a scoreless 8th, and now J.C. Romero. Jay Bruce, a base hit and a run scored back in the 5th. He reached on an error by Ryan Howard in the 1st. One of 2 errors the Phillies made in that 3-run first inning. On the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jimmy made an error to start the game. Ryan's error came 5 batters into the ball game. The Phils could just never get the momentum back. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals lead the Giants 8-1. Adam Dunn has 5 home runs now in his last 3 games. 2 home runs tonight, 20 home runs before the All-Star break in each of the last 8 years for Adam Dunn.
He can get hot, no doubt about it. He is a home run hitter, and he'll strike out a lot. He'll walk a lot. And, get him out of the outfield where he was really uncomfortable.
Off the hands. That should be there for Dobbs, waiting for Dobbs, and he makes the catch. So 1 away here in the 9th. Here comes Miguel Cairo. He's enjoyed a pretty good night. 3 for 4. With 2 runs batted in. His average up over 300. In a reserve role. Yeah, at the end of last year, I remember Cairo talking about retiring and becoming a coach. You had talked about that.
Yeah. He and I talked about that a couple times. He had been with the Dodgers, and Larry Bowa was telling me what a good guy he was, and that he was going to be a manager someday or a coach, because he was that kind of guy. And I talked to him about that, and he said how much he appreciated, Bowa saying that about him. And he said he'd like to do that maybe someday, stay in the game, but he still felt he could play, and he can.
Must be an interesting life, though, for a guy going from team to team, year to year. That must be hard.
It's got to be hard. That part of it can't be fun. But when you're a utility guy, you're just a fringe player. You realize that's your role, and if you want to stay in this life, you just do it. And he does, and does it well. And he has a very good sense of humor. He loved it when he was with the Phillies because he lived in the countryside area just north of Clearwater. So he was at home for spring training.
Romero behind the count, 2-1 here in the top of the 9th. A little low, 3-1. Phillies began the game tonight 5.5 games back in the East. The Braves are winning against the Mets as Heisey waits on deck. So a loss tonight, the Phillies would be 6.5 games back if the Braves hang on and beat New York. Right side. Here comes Juan Castro. And Cairo is the second out. So Romero has 2 outs here in the 9th. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, it'll be Shane Victorino, Raul Ibanez, and Ryan Howard for the Phils. Down by just 5. Heisey has 2 hits and 4 official at-bats. Swing and a miss. That's a good off-speed pitch from Romero.
Changeup, and JC has always had that pitch for right-handed hitters, and is an out pitch for him. It can be a strikeout pitch too.
In the dirt, it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Heisey. outside ball 4, so a 2-out walk. And Heisey's been aboard 3 times. That'll bring Corky Miller to the plate. Miller in the series has 3 hits, but tonight he's done a very good job with Mike Leake, just mixing them up. Now Leake has been able to work with a lead from the get-go, but Miller's going to play a lot, it seems, over the next couple of weeks with Ramon Hernandez on the DL. Ryan Hennigan has been activated today. Swing and a miss.
Leake has to be fun to catch too, because as a catcher you can do some things. You can set hitters up because he can move the ball around. He can change speeds. He can throw it where he wants to a lot. And for a young pitcher, he has really good poise.
And that pitch hit him. So 2 on with 2 outs. And Leake is going to get a chance to bat for the 5th time tonight. As we've come to find out, Corky Miller is trying to shake off the pain from that pitch from J.C. Romero. We come to find out Leake is a pretty good hitter. He saw 11 pitches in his last at bat, and he worked out a walk. 11. And there's ball 1. Ball and 1 strike. That's the other thing I think about with Leake is that he didn't pitch it all in the minor leagues, so he didn't hit it all in the minor leagues. He's going right from college to the pros as a pitcher and a hitter. And I'm not saying he's Babe Ruth or anything like that, but he certainly has an idea.
He's an athlete.
And sometimes you can get athletes out in front.
Yeah, well, I mean, he is a pitcher. He's not going to say he's any great hitter or anything, but he's aggressive up there, and you can tell he wants to be at home plate. A lot of pitchers don't want to be up there for obvious reasons, and he's very athletic and he can do some things, and he's going to really help them, and has helped them.
That one's toward the hole, a base hit it to left field. Around third and scoring is Heisey. It's now 7-1 Cincinnati. 3rd hit of the night for Mike Leake. Forget about just blooping the ball to right. That's his 2nd ball that he's hit to left, and the other one was a bullet right up the middle.
And that was a breaking ball or a changeup, something that sped his bat up a little bit. J.C. Romero, 2 outs, nobody on base. It goes walk, hit, batter, and his teammates are impressed. Can't tell what it is from that angle, but you see he was out front a little bit, but it was something off speed, and he just hooks it in the hole. I think it was a slider.
So runners on 1st and 2nd, and now the top of the order. It's 7-1 Cincinnati. They have 15 hits tonight, and 3 of those hits have come from Leake. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. They appeal, and no swing, says James Hoy. Well, JC's thrown a lot of pitches, as Brian Schneider kept that one around the plate. JC got the first 2 outs very easily tonight. And a walk, a hit batter, and a base hit by the pitcher. cue shot, and it's 3-2. Runners will be off on this pitch. 7-1 Cincinnati here at the top of the ninth.
You know, many games in this place where it's just quiet.
It is quiet.
It's just bad game tonight.
Fireworks night. Fans are hanging on for a little post-game entertainment. Runners go. Ball 4. Bases are loaded. And I would think the Phillies are going to have to get some bullpen action because JC's throwing a lot of pitches. 2 walks, a hit batter, and a base hit. The bases are loaded for Orlando Cabrera. And Nelson Figueroa is up and firing in the pen now for the Phillies. Cabrera has hit less than 5 at bats.
They certainly didn't want to do that tonight. Have to get him up again. I mean, they really felt they could get an inning out of Romero here, and maybe they still will. He had 2 outs and nobody on, as we mentioned, and it's kind of fallen apart for him.
In the dirt, and it's even 1 ball and 1 strike. Reds have had 13 runners in scoring position. They're 4 for 13. The other part of the story, and it's probably a bigger part of the story, the Phillies just 1 runner in scoring position. Back toward the middle, and JC should get out of this jam, and he does. 30 pitches later, he strands the bases loaded. He did allow a run here in the ninth. We go to the bottom of the ninth. One last chance for the Phils. Mike Leake trying to pick up his first big league complete game. And the Phillies, well, they're trying to stop it here. They trail it 7-1. It'll be Victorino, Raul Ibanez, and Ryan Howard trying to do a little late game magic. Phillies have managed 5 hits against Leake. And Shane takes one inside. It's 1-0. He's allowed only 1 hit since the 4th. That was a base hit by Jason Worth. And a line drive down the right field line. That's going to be in for a base hit. It'll go to the wall, and Victorino's going to second. And he's there standing with a leadoff double. Dusty Baker does not have anybody up in the pen because it's a 6-run game. He's going to let Leake try to navigate through this ninth for a little bit. And here's Ibanez, 2 for 3.
Yeah, and as you say, Tom, 6-run lead and a very low pitch count. If he thought this kid was in trouble pitch count wise, he could care less about a complete game. He'd go get him. They're going to get somebody up.
Inside, it's 1-0. There is something to, the thought of a complete game for a pitcher. Cordero, the closer,
must need work, or else they wait until he pitches it into a save situation. The Phillies would love to have that opportunity.
Victorino still putting his batting gloves on, taking his leadoff second, and it's 2-1. A change up at the knees. Carlos Ruiz continued his rehab tonight. He was 2 for 4 with Lakewood as the DH. Charlie said, son, you go catch last night, be the DH tonight, and we'll try to activate you tomorrow. That's the plan.
Yeah, and you got a left-hander pitching tomorrow night.
Pop up, center field. Drew Stubbs, who came on as a defensive replacement an inning ago, makes the catch. Victorino's going to try for third. The throw by Stubbs, a little late. Kid's got a good arm. 1 out.
Throws very well, and so does Bruce, obviously, with the play he made earlier in the game. There's Bruce, the right fielder. Here is Stubbs. And Shane Victorino. You want to try and tag and go to third when there's nobody out if possible. But when you're down by 6, you better make it.
Well, Ryan Howard, the batter. Ryan was hit by a pitch his first time up, singled, and struck out. Trying to keep this game alive. An 89 sinker for a strike, and it's 0-1. 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond, which is a change from what we've seen Dusty Baker do this year with Ryan at the plate. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Victorino's over at third. On the hands, a looper down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It's going to be a base hit and an RBI. And Ryan's not going to try for 2. He was thrown out earlier in the game, trying to stretch a single into a double. It's 7-2 Cincinnati. RBI number 63 for Ryan. And Brian Price is going out to the mound. Jason Worth was peeking over into the dugout, the Reds dugout, to see if Dusty Baker was going to make a move. Cordero has just really started to throw in the pen.
Yeah, it's where they want him to even get serious out there, and I guess he's going to have to. Here is Mike Leake. We mentioned what a great athlete he is, and you see those real quick feet throw over there, pick Jimmy off first. Now here he goes, covers first base on a poor throw there and makes a good play. Then a changeup for a strikeout. Comes inside, moved his fastball around. Looked like another changeup there for a strikeout.
And he's been on base 4 times.
Been on base 4 times, no walks.
Trying for his first major league complete game. Jason Worth is the hitter with a runner at first, a run across the plate here in the 9th. Phillies trail at 7-2. And Jason hits it toward the hole. That's a base hit. It's a left field. 2 on, 1 out. Managers can go through this a million times, but I'm sure one of the more difficult things to do is to make that decision as to when you take a guy out of a ball game, particularly when he's thrown just 94 pitches.
Well, they're 1 base runner away from a save situation.
Phillies lead it or trail it by 5.
You get the bases loaded here. The tying run would be in the on-deck circle because it's 7-5. So 1 more base run. And, that would be the signal to go get it, I would think.
Runners lead off first and second. Dobbs hitless at 3 at-bats tonight. Couple strikeouts and a pop-out. Inside, it nearly hit him.
That would have been the end of it. Right there. Feed a nip him.
I mentioned before that there is something about completing a game. Sure. There's something very mental about it.
Well, he's just been breezing all night. Now, all of a sudden, the Phillies are putting a little rally up here. He's pressing a little bit to finish the game. And, you know, it's different.
Oh, Patty's going to have to do a little extra work to get that foul ball.
She handed that little kid there and he dropped it. Now he's got it back.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Dobbs. Two and 1. Ryan Howard's at second base. Jason Worth is at first.
Greg Dobbs has really been worked inside tonight by Leake and then change-ups away. And he's doing it again to him. That's why these balls are being pulled foul down the third baseline, because he's inside so much. And down the first baseline.
The bat just bopped Corky Miller right on the head on the backswing.
Sneaking up on 100 pitches now is Leake.
I think Corky Miller's going to step back a little bit farther.
Well, you know, he's got his position where he wants to sit, and Dobbs has that backswing there. And yeah, I could think he's a little tired of that. Getting conked on the head like a Three Stooges routine.
Outside, and it's full. 3-2. Ryan Schneider, last night's hero, on deck. Phillies are going to need more than one hero tonight to come back from this one. They've already scored a run in the inning. They trail it by 5. 2 on, 1 out. In the air down the right field line. Did he get enough of it? It's hooking. It is gone off the foul pole. A 3-run home run, and that's made it a 2-run game. Hero number 1. Who's next? Whoever it is, they'll face a new pitcher. Dusty Baker's on his way to the mound.
Yeah, same situation now for Cordero. Great at bat by Greg Dobbs. Battle. Foul ball against a guy who's been getting him out all night. And then hits the ball down the line and keeps it fair right off the pole. And that guy did a tremendous job tonight, but just shows you how tough it is to go 9 sometimes.
It's a 7-5 game. Pretty good swing by Greg Dobbs. He got a chance to watch it. The pole was right there waiting. A new pitcher when we get back. single. Here's the home run.
Well, the way he'd gotten him out all night was pitching him in, and then throwing a changeup. And it looked like he threw a changeup there and got a lot of the plate with it, and Greg got a lot of it on the barrel of the bat and kept it fair. And put the thrill back in the game right there. Yeah, that guy says.
Faces changed, expression certainly changed. Let's see if we can change them even more. A little more happiness here at the ballpark. So Greg Dobbs will look on as Francisco Cordero will be the new pitcher for the Reds. He leads the league in saves. And Brian Schneider's the hitter, and he takes a fastball for a strike.
But that's what you're going to see. Fastball, breaking ball, and hard splitter.
Brian's 0 for 3 tonight. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 43rd game already for Cordero. 24 saves, 5 blown saves. A lot of those blown saves are when Johnny Cueto's on the hill. It's 2-1. A line drive, and he hooked it foul.
That shot of Mike Leake looking on from the dugout. It's quite an eventful night here. And Greg Dobbs got him out of the game with that pulled off the pole down the right field line.
Towards center field. And Drew Stubbs seemed like he had Brian Schneider played perfectly. And that is the second out. So the Phillies down to their final out, and they'll send one of their pinch hitters up. Then Francisco. They already used Ross Glode. And Ben will bat for Juan Castro. He lays off. It's 1-0. Every run tonight obviously has been important that the Reds have scored, but that run in the ninth inning is huge just because it gave them a little bit more breathing room. And instead of a 2-run game, it would be a 1-run game. On the outside corner, it's 1-1 to Francisco.
And you don't know whether Cordero would have come into the game if they had gotten to the same situation a little quicker.
Yep. Francisco's 0 for 3 against Cordero. And he's down to the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Both managers know that not every winning is easy to get to. And it's 3-2. Cody Ransom has come out on deck. Francisco gets on. Ransom would be the tying run. Ball forward. Here comes Cody Ransom.
Who would believe when this inning started the tying run would come up? This one didn't have that kind of feel to it.
Phillies have not had a whole lot of innings like this late in games this year, but they're getting one right now where they got a little bit of life and an opportunity to maybe disappoint Mike Leake and fire off those fireworks a little early. Francisco leads off first. Cody Ransom is 2 for 6 in the big leagues. And he foul tips the first pitch into the glove of Corky Miller. Cody with 16 home runs in the minor leagues. Mike Leake may have stopped pitching, but he hasn't stopped sweating.
He's been walking around a lot.
In the air to right center field. That's pretty well hit. Jay Bruce going back, and that one is gone! Cody Ransom has just tied this baby up. How about that?
time you know, you never know.
Phillies are thinking, why not them? What a swing by Ransom.
Well, he has tremendous power, and he got a fastball out over the plate and put it in the first row. Boy, for a second, I thought it was out when he hit it.
I did too, and then I thought it was dying.
Yeah, I thought it was dying out there, too. That's a remarkable comeback. That is just amazing. Wow. Well, listen to this play. Oh, we were talking about, what, a half an hour ago? I've never heard it so quiet here. And understandably so. Boy, the fans are into it now.
3-0 the count to Jimmy Rollins. He gets on, and Victorino will get a second shot. Look at this line score. And in that doesn't tell the whole story. There wasn't a whole lot of life for the Phillies team until this night. Ball 4. The winning run is aboard. Remember how we said this game has so much mental to it? Well, the Phillies are in Cordero's head, and rightfully so. Mike Leake was cruising. 8 1/3 tonight. 9 hits and 5 runs. Now it's time to finish it off.
Yeah, go for it. Heck yeah. Cody Ransom, we saw him a lot in spring training, and he showed tremendous power. And boy, that was great power the other way.
Second career pinch hit home run for Ransom. Here's Victorino, the 10th man of bat in the inning. It's been a 6-run inning for the Phils.
James started with a double.
We said if the Phillies came back, it would take more than one hero. Well, they've had a whole host of heroes in this inning. How about one more?
Yeah. Yeah, don't stop now.
Well, a toss over, and again, Jimmy is back.
You can run on Cordero a little bit. Now, he's well aware of Jimmy over there. But he'll throw that hard splitter in the dirt. If you guess right, you can run on him. Whether they would do that or not, we'll see.
Oh, he just threw one of those splitters in the dirt over to first.
What a play by Votto, huh? That thing looked like it was headed for the wall over there, for the stands.
Shade's still waiting for his first pitch. And there it is. Popped it up. Behind second. Giannis, the shortstop, is there. And we go to extra innings again. The Phillies scored 6 runs here in the bottom of the ninth. Greg Dobbs, a 3-run home run right off the pole. And then Cody Ransom, a pinch hit 2-run home run. To the 10th we go. Straight night between the Phils and the Reds. Extra innings. Phillies won last night, and they came back to score 6 in the ninth because of the long ball wheels.
Well, Greg Dodds gave him a great at bat. Gave Mike Leake foul ball after foul ball after foul ball. Then got to, I think it was a changeup and hit it out. And then Cody Ransom with a fastball there from Cordero and hits it into the first row after a walk to another pinch hitter, Ben Francisco. Tied it up. WB made some deliveries of the game.
So Dobbs and Ransom both homer. Ransom stays in the game to play second. Charlie was rolling the dice and going for broke, and that means he has to realign his defense a little bit. Ryan Matson is the new pitcher. Well, now as things are set up, the Phillies have Matson. They have Lidge available out of the bullpen. Contreras. And Mike Leake is still pacing around that dugout because he watched a 6-run lead get washed away. Here's Joey Votto to lead off the 10th, and it's 1-0.
This Wilson Valdez can't play because he would be the guy you'd probably put in the game at second, even though, you know, for defense.
That's a good point.
Unless they want, you know, Ransom's at bat to come around, but you know, Valdez is obviously the better defensive player in the tie game. I don't know.
Wilson is on the bench. He's got that left wrist wrapped, which is why he's not playing tonight. 1-1 the count to Votto. There's Wilson. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. That one at 94 from Matson. Ryan showed last night he had a really good changeup. And his first night back off the disabled list.
Caught high strikes tonight on both sides as Laz Diaz, and it looked like one there. You saw the way the Votto turned around. That's great for Matson. 2-2 instead of 3-1.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 1 away here in the 10th.
Throw the high fastball and then come back with changeup.
It's only been 2 outings, but I'll tell you, his changeup has been really good.
He had a great changeup last night, and that's his, you know, that's a changeup you're used to from him, because when he has a good one, it's down like that and out of the strike zone and they chase.
Well, Drew Stubbs, who came on to play center field and they moved Heisey over to left, will hit instead of Johnny Gomes, who was lifted from the game a couple innings ago.
Yeah, well, they made some moves, and understandably so, for better defense with a 6-run lead.
On the outside corner, no balls and 2 strikes.
Left-hander up in the bullpen because the Phillies will have Ibanez and Howard, and it's Arthur Rhodes. There he is.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Little high heat to Drew Stubbs. 2 outs.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball. Everybody knows that about Ryan Howard. He can throw it up in that area and see if they'll chase. And out of the strike zone, and gets him to go after it. Blew him away.
And now Jay Bruce.
Another dangerous left-handed hitter.
Starts him off with a pitch low and in. A change up, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies in their half of the 10th. Ibanez, Howard, and Jason Worth. Most likely to face Arthur Rhodes, who's up and loosening for the Reds.
First 2 guys are going to face him.
That's true. And then we'll see. Ryan Matson doing his best Jamie Moyer impersonation. Looking for baseball that he likes. There's Ryan. Oh. All part of the next leg of this race for the Phillies offensively. That's a a scary changeup when you have it at the level of your fastball, and the hitter is thinking fastball, and he's way out in front.
And that's not his good one either, because he doesn't want it up that high.
To left field, Ibanez on the run. He's got some room at the track. Makes the catch, a step from the wall. And the side is retired in order. I think everybody felt their stomachs drop as that ball left the bat. Coming up in the bottom of the 10th, Raul Ibanez, Ryan Howard, and Jason Worth for the Phils. If you turned away in the bottom of the ninth, well, then you missed a dandy of an inning for the Phillies, and we'll see if it can continue here. It's a 7-7 ball game with the heart of the order due up for the Phils against Arthur Rhodes, one of the best left-handed relievers in the league this year. Now, the Phillies have gotten to him this season. This is his 40th game. 3-2, a 1.04 earned run average. Phillies are looking to feed off of their game-winning home run by Brian Schneider last night and a 6-run ninth inning tonight. And come back and win this one.
Well, the night they got to Arthur Rhodes, Ibanez and Ryan Howard got big hits off.
Yeah, Raul had a great swing. It's been an interesting week in Major League Baseball. Colorado Rockies scored 9 runs in the bottom of the ninth to win a ball game on Tuesday against the Cardinals. For the Phillies last night, Brian Schneider's home run won it for the Phils in the 12th. That's only been part of the story, though. There have been some interesting games all around the league this week. A lot of them included the Rockies. And this one here. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Raul. 2-0. Matson's scoreless 10th sets up this bottom of the 10th. And a line drive, base hit, and Ibanez will be aboard. Can he get to second? Bruce can't play it off the wall, and Ibanez is in standing.
Boy, he smoked that. Good job by Rule, too, because he took those first 2 pitches, didn't get antsy, and got himself ahead where Arthur Rhodes had to throw a fastball for a strike or something for a strike, and did, and he ripped it. There you go. You see, right, well, actually, it's a little bit middle in, scalded it over Joey Votto's head, and Votto was way back. All right, Howard's got to try and pull the ball now. And Arthur, you would think he's going to go way away from him.
They play Ryan the pull. But now with 3 infielders to the right side. Yanish is up the middle. Cairo's off the line at third. Dusty Baker, Chris Spire aligning the defense. The 1-0 to Howard. That's a strike. But it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ryan Howard knows that he's up there to pull right now, and he's hoping that Arthur Rhodes can't paint that outside corner the way that he just did. You know, to get in the situation the way Rhodes just was, or the way that Ibanez just was ahead in the count.
Way inside, it's 2-1. Ryan has a hit in 6 official at-bats against Arthur Rhodes. Their faces didn't look that anguished a half hour ago, the Reds fans. It happens. 2-1 the count to Ryan. In the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Heisey's going back to the warning track to the wall. It's gone! Ryan Howard has completed an improbable come from behind victory for the Phillies. A 2-run walk-off home run here in the bottom of the 10th. There's a pretty good chance that they may have found their edge again. We'll see. As unbelievable a night as you will ever see here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's what we talk about for a long time. How many here, 45,000? How many are going to say they saw this? Arthur Rhodes throws it down and away, and Ryan Howard just scalds this thing. It looked like a home run when he hit it. It looked like certainly a wall ball if it wasn't. He thought it was out because he's pointing to the dugout like, we're going home, boys. And Arthur Rhodes is going to back up home plate just in case, but he just headed to the dugout. Wow, what a finish.
What a night. What a 10th. What a night. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. What a comeback. Talked with Brian Snyder yesterday about that game giving you momentum. Boy, what a nice hit you hit. Ball down and away. You went down and got it. Tell us about it.
Man, it was big. I mean, this was a total team effort. I mean, you got to give credit to Mike Leakey. He threw a great game today, and, you know, we were kind of left for dead. That 9th inning was big for us to be able to come back. You know, Rule getting on, I figured that Rhodesy was going to throw me a bunch of sliders, and kind of saw the fastball in and figured he was probably going to try and go with a slider away and just try to stay on it and poke it out to left.
Leak throwing the ball tonight. I thought he threw the ball extremely well. What was it that he kept you guys off balance? Change-up or fastball?
You know, he was getting some good calls, had some good movement on his pitches, and was moving them in and out, had the change-up working pretty well, and we just kind of put it together late, but better late than never.
How about Cody's hit? Coming off the bench, haven't been playing, high fastball he hit out. Tell us about that one. It's the tie the ball game.
That was huge. I mean, for Cody to be able to come in off the bench kind of cold and come up in that big position.
What? I got to tell you, he got me too. I usually see him coming. Don't even know where he came from. But anyway, nice game-winning hit, nice home run, continued success. Hopefully this will give you guys something to build on for the rest of these games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you just try to carry this momentum and just continue to do what we did those last couple of innings and just try to do it through the first 9.
Ryan, thanks for coming on. Okay, guys, back to you.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. How about this? The Phillies, well, they didn't have a whole lot of life going into the 9th inning. They found life, and they found a little bit more. Ryan Howard's 2-run walk-off home run wins it for the Phils.